when everything changes. The not so sick fall every day and become the sick. That's commonly when the realizations come. The fall they take brings them to a new awakening about how they've perceived the world. Until then, the not so sick may feel safe and secure in how they've gotten their minor or temporary symptoms under control or solved. They feel confident because they tend to find some help in the form of a functional doctor or practitioner or chiropractor who purports to specialize in more advanced natural health care. When they find these healthcare providers, not so sick people are in the beginning of the learning curve, and what they learn from their doctor or practitioner is new to them. They're not sick enough yet to find out these may not be the answers because the problems they're dealing with are manageable enough that they seem to be partially or even temporarily solved by what seems to be smart, cutting-edge thinking in alternative medicine. You may be told, here's a product for your microbiome because everything stems from your gut. Or here's a remedy in a powder, a multivitamin, and herb complex, all in line with a no-sugar diet. Do some lean protein, stay in a keto direction, or we'll get some stool samples and check out your gut balance. Here's a probiotic. Or we'll do some blood work. Look at your nutritional profile. See where your deficiencies are. When you're hearing any of this for the first time, you can feel satisfaction in the advice you're getting. You feel direction. You find resolve that you could make little changes that could be helpful. It's all confidence boosting because you're not so sick. You can still exercise, you're still doing caffeine, you're strong, and now you feel you're a health expert. Some of the not so sick today do believe they are experts on anything they've experienced with their health. They had an acute problem or condition or intermediate symptoms that were perplexing, got some help, learned what feels like cutting-edge information, seemed to overcome it or manage it, and now suddenly they're health experts. They're giving advice on their platforms, giving guidance to other people who are far more sick. When you're not so sick, you can play in the world of reading new theories or trying new supplements in alternative medicine, or read about old techniques that have been around for the last decade or two. Little do you realize these theories and supplements and old techniques are ones the sick have already tried. Trendy products, trendy machines, the sick have tried them all, and they've only gone downhill. Meanwhile, the not so sick can play in these trendy places and even revive old techniques and theories for other not so sick people to play with, making them popular again. The not so sick don't realize that as they get sicker down the road because their health scale has finally tipped, the approach they were trying for their health will show themselves not to be useful. What they were invested in or guiding others to do was not ultimately helpful. Before the day comes when their health worsens, it doesn't take much for a not so sick person to feel a benefit from a health technique. Many of these people are only intermittently sick with a mild symptom that comes and goes on its own, seeming to get better with a little bit of sleep, a new vitamin protocol, cleaning up their foods, intermittent fasting, lymphatic massage, sauna routines, breathing classes, workout classes. The land of alternative health game is filled with many trendy options. The not so sick have the freedom to play in this fairy tale land, waffle about, latch on to something of interest to tell others about, and remain disconnected from the difference between being not so sick and being sick. Being sick is an entirely different space. The sick have left the realm of play. The sick are seasoned. The sick have already done the probiotics, the fish oils, the whey protein powders and other protein powders, the charcoal, the oil pulling, the neem oil, the chlorella, the sodium bicarbonate, the gut powders, the bentonite clay and other clays, the fulvic acid, the deer antler, the collagen, the protein bars, the MCT oil, the kombucha, the chocolate, the green tea, the apple cider vinegar, chlorophyll, alkaline, ionizer water machines, and dozen more. The sick have become seasoned too, from visiting dozens of doctors and trying everything including fecal transplants, bee sting therapy, urine therapy, coffee enemas, stem cell therapy, ozone, cold therapy, and more. The seasoned sick have been there, done that. The not so sick, when they get their first symptoms, may believe the health world is their oyster, and they stumble across remedy after remedy with confident practitioners who haven't gone through a major health crisis themselves. The search for a way to heal starts at the most basic tier. The sicker you get, the more you've sifted through what's offered. The not so sick many times thinks it's impossible for them ever to get sick with a chronic illness. They don't want to think they could ever get there because that's frightening, and their health approach must be the answer. They're still doing their workouts, they're still having their cheat days, they feel like they're keeping balanced, practicing moderation, intuitively living their lives. They believe that person who's really sick, that's not me. That's not going to be me. Then when you cross the threshold to being very sick, everything changes. It's a different world, one of survival. Your goals are different from the goals of the not so sick. Things change in your life. Even relationships can change. It's a whole other world of understanding health.